What if the biggest reason you're not building wealth isn't your income, but the way your brain is wired to handle money? Not because you're careless, not because you're lazy, but because your decisions feel right in the moment. And that's the problem. Let's take a very normal situation. You're 26, you live somewhere in the US or Europe. You earn $4,000 a month after tax. On paper, that sounds fine. But then reality shows up. Rent or mortgage, $1,500. Car payment, $400. Insurance, utilities, subscriptions, $500. Eating out, small lifestyle upgrades, $600. Minimum credit card or student loan payments, $300. Now you're left with about $300. Not broke, but not moving forward either. And the strange part is, this doesn't feel like overspending. It feels normal. Here's where things get interesting. Most people think financial problems come from big mistakes. They imagine reckless spending, gambling, or extreme debt. But in reality, the system that keeps people stuck is much quieter. It's the idea that, as long as I can afford the monthly payment, it's fine. That one belief silently shapes almost every financial decision. Car, monthly payment. Phone, monthly payment. Furniture, monthly payment. Even lifestyle becomes a subscription. Let's slow this down with very basic math. That $400 car payment, over 5 years, that's $24,000. But that's not the real cost. If you had invested $400 per month instead, at a modest 7% annual return, after 10 years, you'd have around $70,000. After 20 years, over $200,000. So the real cost of that car isn't $24,000. It's what that money could have become. And this is where most people disconnect, because psychologically, future money doesn't feel real. Your brain isn't designed for long-term wealth. It's designed for short-term comfort and survival. There's a concept called present bias. It means you naturally value today more than tomorrow. A dinner out tonight feels real. A larger investment account in 15 years doesn't. So your brain quietly says, you deserve this now. And it's convincing, because it's not wrong emotionally, it's just incomplete financially. There's also social comparison. You don't measure your life in isolation. You measure it against your peers. If your coworkers drive better cars, you feel behind. If your friends travel more, you feel restricted. So spending becomes less about need and more about keeping up with a moving standard. Now stretch this behavior over time. Not one bad decision, but hundreds of small reasonable ones. Upgrading apartments slightly too early, choosing convenience over cost repeatedly, increasing lifestyle with every salary raise. Nothing extreme, but after 10 years, you earn more, you spend more, and your financial position barely changes. This is what quiet stagnation looks like. No crisis, no collapse, just no real progress. Financially intelligent people don't think very differently on the surface. They live in similar cities, they earn similar salaries, they buy similar things. But the difference is subtle and structural. They don't ask, can I afford this monthly payment? They ask, what is this costing my future options? They see money as stored flexibility, not just something to exchange for comfort today, but something that buys time, freedom, and reduced pressure later. So instead of upgrading immediately when income increases, they delay, not forever, just long enough for their financial base to grow. Think of your income like a system, not a reward. Most people treat money as something to be spent after effort. Work hard, earn, spend. But financially stable people treat money as something to be positioned. Work hard, earn, allocate, then spend what remains. It's a small shift in order, but it completely changes the outcome because now progress is built into the system, not left to discipline. The psychology of money isn't about intelligence, it's about awareness. You don't need extreme frugality. You don't need perfect decisions. You just need to see clearly that most financial struggles aren't caused by one big mistake. They're the result of many small decisions that feel harmless, but quietly compound in the wrong direction. Once you see that, you don't feel guilty. You just start thinking differently. If this way of thinking makes sense to you, you can subscribe to Preston Invests for more calm, realistic breakdowns like this.